Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. Loch this monster here. So as you can tell by the title, this week we are in good old MURICA. Video game shopping, thrifting, hunting, getting ready for the platts-nerd Comic-Con, which is the main reason that we were here. We got to the States a little early, so we decided to check out some thrift stores, and they've got a lot of good ones in only a few blocks, and knock on wood, I always seem to find some great stuff in the States. Now, I haven't been here in about 8 or 9 months, and that's just because the money exchange has been terrible. Luckily, the Canadian dollar is bouncing back a bit, so the way I'm looking at it, if the price tag is $5, it's only going to cost me about $6.50 Canadian. Now, I always hear how friendly Canadians are. I have to give the same compliment to our neighbors to the south. These guys are so laid back. Like this guy, I told him I was looking for old video games. He told me to go across the street to his buddy's store, but he only opens up in about a half hour. He actually called to tell him that there was people up from Canada and they wanted to buy some video games. I'm not mocking his accent, that's how he sounded, and this guy was awesome. Now, unfortunately, this day did have a few bumps. This is about the most interesting stuff I could do with the platts-nerd video footage. There's about 6 cosplayers, about 4 tables, and if it's your thing, that's cool, but it was nothing but Magic the Gathering cards. There was one saving grace, a guy was selling a few Transformers. Other than that, we were out of there in 15 minutes. So with platts-nerd being a bust, we went to go check out the mall. Of course, we went to Target, we went to Walmart where they have way cheaper items, even with the exchange, and we decided to pick up some of the best pizza around, Bono Pizza, and while we were waiting for it, I decided to pop into a few more thrift shops. Now again, the prices are really great here. I always know that there's a struggle to look for video games, and I know it's hard in Canada, I know it's hard in America, but looking at these prices, whoever lives in Plattsburgh could have a very good collection. Now, we all know that the prices of retro games have still gone up, and it is still tricky to collect, especially when you're on a budget. But if you are looking to build a sizable collection, and there are great games in this category, pick up PlayStation 2, GameCube, and original Xbox games right now. You can put a really nice collection together, and it's not expensive at all to collect. This store, it was between $2 and $6 per game, and even back home I'm noticing usually like $3 to $5 to pick up quality games on those systems. A lot of stores will have a bundle too. They'll throw in a couple of sports games, but they'll usually put 1 or 2 solid titles in there to get you to pick them up. So, do yourself a favor, buy in bulk. And again, those consoles are really great to play for. It's not just shelf padding, it's, quality games. Alright, here I'm just texting to see if any of the few of my Pokemon Go friends are interested in any of these window decals. You have your 3 teams, there's a couple of hats. They called it their Pokemon Go Center. Actually cool to see that a few stores still are doing the whole Pokemon Center thing. Now this shelf is where I wanted to come to. You got PS1, you got Nintendo games, long box PS1, Genesis, there's Atari 2600, 5200, and there was even a few Texas Home Instrument computer games in here. I've never seen these loose, and I knew I had to buy at least one of them because I've had a system for about 2 years and I haven't been able to play it. You got some box Genesis, Nintendo 64, and again, the deals. Games are anywhere between $1 to about $10, and even $10 is for, I guess, titles that they think are a little bit better, like Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong Racing, I think there was Killer Instinct. The prices were very fair in here. See, even this complete in box Madden 64, the box is a little haggard, but for $4, I'll give it a good home. Now, I guess this will be my question of the week, guys. What's your take on this? They didn't put a premium on Genesis games in the case, so pretty much all the Genesis games were between $2 and $10 depending on the title, but whether it was loose or in the case, there was no discrepancy in price. So what do you guys think about that? Should there be a few dollar premium on a clamshell, or it doesn't matter? Now, I'm not gonna lie, I thought about picking up that Timon and Pumbaa for about $4 or $5. Mostly sports games in there, but they were priced accordingly. I think it was $2. Now, I may be giving away my age here, but I always look for Atari 2600 and 5200 cartridges. The 2600 was my first, I guess, console, even though it belonged to my father. That's what I played before I got my first Nintendo. A bunch of loose Genesis games. I think I regret not picking up that Ariel, but this was something that I didn't expect to see, and again, I was happy to find a Texas Home Instrument game. This is Blasto. I have no idea what it is, and this one is Early Learning. Early Learning was $5, Blasto was only $2, so of course I picked Blasto. Now to see what's in the glass display case. So there was an Ouya, there was a bunch of cameras, different Bluetooth headsets for your phone. Up here there's a bunch of controllers, a lot more PlayStation and GameCube games. Some of the controllers were priced very well, and then some of them, I guess, very oddly, maybe they don't come into the shop a lot. Like the Dreamcast controller, I think was $15, but then they had the N64 and a Super NES controller for like $5 or $6. That was just a mountain of consoles, and right away I see the Red Mini Wii, something that was released in Canada first, and I hadn't picked one up until this point. Again, of course, their glass display case of all the quote-unquote more expensive games. Some decent games, but nothing really that would catch my eye, and these games were more on par with Canadian pricing, so I figure if I was going to spend, say, like $20, $25 on a certain game, I would much rather do it back at home so I don't have to worry about the exchange. Average titles, there's nothing really in here that you're missing where you wish that I would stop and really zoom in. I think out of that whole row, Q*bert may be the only thing that I actually don't have in my collection right now in terms of NES games. But like I mentioned, really great people, down to earth, laid back. Like, the woman was having a couple of slices of pizza with her daughter while I was looking around, and she asked if I mind. I told her no, it's fine, eat your lunch, but no, nice small pawn shops like this all over Plattsburgh. Really had a great time. And for the one crappy part of the weekend, we were held at the border for 2 hours for not having receipts on yard sale items. The border guard told me that I need to get a handwritten bill if I go to yard sales or garage sales. He literally wants them to write 50 cents for a CD. I've been going yard selling in the States for years. I've never had problems, and I've even had border guards joke with me and ask if I found anything good. We've claimed everything else, our groceries, Walmart, Target, even the other pawn shops that gave receipts. The guy called me a liar. He seized the car for 2 hours. We were finally let go, and I already spoke to a friend who's a paralegal. I am totally contesting this because he wanted to charge double the duty, saying that I was trying to hide items in the trunk. That's where you store your items, in the trunk. Then after all that, we get stuck in this traffic about 15 minutes from home. We were waiting for about an hour and a half. Ah well, what's the saying? C'est la vie. And of course, the way I do it, everything I picked up with a few hidden items, because what's the point of watching the whole episode and the ending if you see everything I get? So the first thing I bought was Shadow Link, which is exclusive to Spencer's for $20. Pretty cool item. An empty box for Gradius 3, $5. If you pay close attention in the last pawn shop, you'll see this in a bag. I got a Donkey Kong Country for $5, empty box, but still really great. Madden Football 64 for the N64, $5, it is complete. Not the best looking box, but it's complete and I will play this game. For $10, Diddy Kong Racing complete in box for the N64. I don't know how this was so cheap, but I will scoop this up. I'm going to trade out my loose copy and keep the boxed. And another box copy, this one for $5, NBA Hang Time for Nintendo 64. Then I'm glad to add some NES games to the collection. For $15, I found Chubby Cherub. Jurassic Park for $5. A very forgettable movie. Let's hope the game's better. The Rocketeer for $5. Rally Bike for $4. Another game I don't have. Need it for the library. And then the only saving grace for platts-nerd, I found a few Transformers for 50 cents. I found Sea Spray. I remember having this guy when I was about 5 years old. I also found Snapper from Beast Wars for $2. This guy had unbelievable deals, and he just said, you know what, I'm trying to sell my collection. He thought that platts-nerd would be a good place to unload old toys that he doesn't need. Beast Wars Rhinox, $8, I thought was pretty good because I wanted him in the Transformers collection. A NES Advantage complete in box, $15 from a pawn shop. Has that sticker on it that got me in trouble. Microsoft's UNSC munitions tin for $5. I may put a sandwich in it. Walmart, $7.50. Nintendo t-shirt. I thought it looked pretty cool. Probably be a gym shirt. The Nintendo Wii Mini Red console with wires and a Wiimote. I picked this up for $20. Even with the exchange, that's pretty darn good. Something I don't see every day. Texas Instrument home computer Blasto, $2. Picked this up for my dad, 50 cents each. This is the Best of the Dick Tracy Show on DVD from 1961. 2 copies, 50 cents each, a tribute to Guitar Heroes. A lot of good songs on here. I want to keep one and maybe give one away. From Walmart, the Horror Collection 8 movie pack, $5. Ghoulies 3 is on this, and Shopping Mall. Born to Controversy, the Rowdy Roddy Piper story. Can't wait to watch this. Nuka-Cola, this was sales at EB's. It was $10 for a Fallout style hat. And keeping with the red theme, also from EB for $10, this is a Nintendo Mario Winter hat. Tales from the Dark Side, 90 episodes, $30 from Walmart, all 4 seasons. I'm about 6 in already. 13 cameras, you can't beat the dollar store. $3 for horror movies. Go check them out. And from 2 weeks ago, from a flea market, Sega Master System Jurassic Park, $15. You don't see that every day. And of course, I had to pick up Gears of War. I don't like paying full price, but for this game, I was happy to. And as always, guys, thanks a lot for watching, liking, commenting, and if you're new, maybe hit that sub button. It's all up to you. Until next time, guys, I really appreciate you watching. Thanks for stopping by. Loch Ness Monster saying, see you later.